In a major update, it looks like Mercedes Moné to AEW is imminent, just as Tony Khan is set to make a big announcement on AEW Dynamite next week. I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling, and in this video, I'm going to tell you everything that we know about Mercedes' potential debut, what it has to do with this big announcement on what is a massive card for AEW Dynamite next week. All that and more in this video. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, let's talk about Mercedes Moné. Reports have indicated that she has basically been signed, sealed, and delivered to AEW ever since basically the beginning of the year. There had been reports that discussions had happened with WWE, and those had broken down, and that AEW was the place. And we are now learning that not only was AEW the place, but additionally, AEW had plans for Mercedes Moné, and that the announcement was supposed to happen on Saturday. So this is according to Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer newsletter. He says the following: Kazuchika Okada and Mercedes Moné, it's coming down to the wire. AEW has thought that they had Mercedes for a while. The AEW were originally going to make an announcement on Saturday. Then they realized that it probably was not the best day to make the announcement because of the Vince McMahon news. Obviously, Vince McMahon allegations came out late last week, and that changed the thinking for AEW, and probably rightfully so, to not announce it on such a day that, you know, people probably aren't really want to talk about positive stuff in pro wrestling. They want to focus on the McMahon stuff. So anyway, Mercedes looks like she is basically going to be debuting in AEW. Now, the interesting thing here is this announcement. It was announced, or it was said last week, that Tony Khan would have an announcement next week in Phoenix. And as of right now, we don't know what that announcement is. However, if you look at the way that things have kind of played out, and traditionally what AEW has done in the past, this is one of two things. This is either AEW, saying that they have Mercedes and that she's going to debut on X date, or I think that Tony Khan is going to announce, and this is just me speculating, I think Tony Khan is going to announce an event. He's going to announce an event. I believe as of right now, the second week of March, that Dynamite has not been announced as far as location. Basically, every show in between has been, but there's a blank slate for where AEW Dynamite is going to be. I believe it's March 13th. And if I am AEW and I'm Tony Khan, what I would do here is take a page out of the debut of CM Punk, that playbook. What I would do here is say that on March 13th, 2024, AEW is going to make history by being in the TD Garden and selling out the TD Garden or whatever, and it's going to be a great show. Call it whatever you want. Call it Money in the Bank. Call it Moné in the Bank. Whatever you want to call it. Drop every single hint to tell people that Mercedes is going to be there without explicitly saying that Mercedes is going to be there. Build it up like you did with the First Dance CM Punk's debut on Rampage in 2021, which I think is probably one of the most perfectly handled debuts in professional wrestling history. Go for that same energy. Sell out the TD Garden on a rumor, because Mercedes is big enough, especially in Boston, that people will come out. And on top of that, you already have the big house on Revolution. I know some people want Revolution to be the day that Mercedes debuts, and it would be great. But the reality is you've already sold 15,000 plus tickets for AEW Revolution on Sting's goodbye match. You've already done the work there. If you're AEW, what you want to do is continue to build up your houses for Dynamite and so on. And one way to do that is by having a massive show in Mercedes' hometown of Boston. Now, will they do that? Can they do that? I don't know. I think that's what they probably should do. I think that would be a very smart business decision to do, but we'll have to see. One thing we do know for sure is that if Mercedes goes to AEW, it will be massive news, not only from a professional wrestling standpoint, but I think like it's going to transcend stuff. Because the only reason right now Mercedes, by the way, has not debuted apparently for AEW, according to some sources, is because she is currently working on some acting commitments. Otherwise, she would have been there. Like, she would already have been there. So there's like, she's such a star, like a transcendent star. She's done the Mandalorian stuff. She's done like so much stuff outside of professional wrestling, and I think she's going to do more. That like AEW has like a bit of a transcendent star here, and the potential for Mercedes like outside of wrestling is, you know, undeniable. So this is someone who you can build up to be, not even build up to be, this is someone who's going to come in and be like one of the cornerstones of your company, carrying your company. One thing I've said relentlessly over the past number of weeks is that in 2024, AEW needs to be aggressive about free agency because they just need more stars. One thing that WWE will always have over them, at least right now, is the fact that if stars get injured, if people need vacation, whatever, they have people that can jump right in and carry storylines. You know, Kevin Owens, there's a reason why he's like, you know, kind of like floating around. He just jumps into feuds at random times. When he's needed, he's there. And he's a massive star. He's over. He's big with everyone. Everyone loves him. AEW needs a bit more of that because what we've seen, the pattern that we've seen has been star gets injured. All right, we got to figure out who's up next, who's going to replace the other storylines, how are we going to restructure this? And while they have made some absolute magic out of it, All Out 2023 was one of the best shows I've ever seen. At the same time, you want to be able to still have that star power so you can draw houses, so you can draw ratings, so that you can appease your partners and sponsorships and as well as your TV partners with Warner Brothers Discovery. So that's what we know so far. That's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, keep it real.